The first thing we're going to do is we're going to propose to the board to adopt two different memorandum of understandings with the police department. The first one involves the Officers Next Door program. In sitting down with the chief, what we learned is that this Officers Next Door program was implemented, but nobody ever put to writing what the program was. So we sort of said to the police department, like, this is what we're going to do, but the expectations, what should be expected of the police department, what should be expected of the housing authority, and what's expected of the officers was never fleshed out. So we think that if we get a memorandum of understanding together for that, and it's being implemented, we'll see a lot more consistency and effectiveness in how that program is implemented. So that's something that we're going to be talking to the police department about. The second memorandum of understanding concerns the $100,000 that this board set aside for security. We talked to the police chief about various ways that we might be able to get that $100,000 to work for us down in the housing authority. And there's a bunch of ideas that are out there. Some of them involve maybe having a police officer just in the night shifts in the housing authority, maybe doing verticals, but basically trying to use that $100,000 to get somebody down here as much as we can. In addition to that, we're going to work on getting the cameras that we do have running directly to the police department. They used to do that, they don't anymore. So we're going to be working on getting that up and running. And also we talked about if there's specific officers assigned to the area, we might be able to get their cameras, get our cameras to stream directly to their laptops if they're in the area. With regard to the generators, we have a resolution tonight in front of us. We will be installing 6 of the generators in the next month. Yes, it's good. And we're going to be moving forward with that. The problem is that right now we really only have the funds to install 6 of them, and we're still going to have 8 others that really aren't right for the space. So we're trying to figure out what to do with the generators. All of the buildings are protected. The much bigger issue with the generators is an issue that we had talked about with the city many months ago, which is that the electrical subpaneling is still below the floodplain. And so we're talking with FEMA, and FEMA, we had a really great meeting with FEMA actually. FEMA believes that they might be able to get us money to look at raising the grants to raise the electrical subpanels to a point where if there's another Sandy Lake event, the generators will run. Because the problem right now is the generators will work, but they'll be generating nothing because the electrical subpanels are flooded. So that's really what we need to focus on. To that end, and sort of segueing into that, also wanted to let the board know that we are aggressively pursuing grants. We had a very good meeting with FEMA, and FEMA has been able to put us in touch with people from the state and people from the county who have additional grants that we might be able to apply for. FEMA also put us in touch with a state group that if we're able to get into this program, they'll actually provide us with a grant writer who will help us search for grants that we're eligible for and apply for the grants, and it would be at no cost to the housing authority. The executive director search, that's going on. What we're doing tonight is, we don't have the resolution because we're going to get prepared in time, but during new business I will be moving to authorize and direct the housing authority to go out to bid for an executive search consultant. And what that is somebody who will help the housing authority recruit someone good. So that's the beginning of the process. After we have that contract, what we'll have is we'll have somebody who's able to identify other housing authorities that have great directors and maybe reach out to them, solicit people to apply. So that's the first step in the process. Right now, unfortunately, we can't clone Director DiVincent. So in talks with him, we thought the next best option would be to hire a deputy executive director. Now, I made very clear to Director DiVincent, and he agrees that whoever we bring in as a deputy executive director should not have aspirations to be the executive director. It should be somebody who is happy being the deputy executive director, and that's the position they want with the Hoboken Housing Authority. So it's not someone that we'd be bringing in to slide into the ED position. We're looking for the opposite. We want somebody who is going to be here. And having a deputy ED in there will help the new executive director transition better into the housing authority. So I think that that's a good thing all around. But I would be interested to hear the board's thoughts on that as well.